Hello, hello. Mystic Maya here. I'm so happy that you decided to just join in. We're going to just ground, have a little open dialogue, get some channels as a collective message, and remember, what comes through can really be a narrative of your past, your present, or your future. You decide here. But overall, use your discernment, take what you need, leave behind what doesn't, because it truly is a collective message. So we're just going to play ping pong with the live moment and channel into that. But overall, I would love to hear how you are feeling today. So if you want to just drop that in the chat whenever this video is finding you. Just taking a deep breath in, maybe even putting your hands over your heart. If you're driving, don't do this, but you can do it with your eyes open through intention into this. So just listen to my voice. If you can, closing your eyes, hands over heart, just breathing in, exhaling, breathing in, feeling your body soften, breathing out, exhaling anything heavy, breathing in, curious, ready to receive, breathing out, letting go once again. Opening up your eyes to the space and just bringing your hands back to a comfortable position. All right, now that we dropped in, which is so easy, like that right there, those 3 intentional deep breaths, you can do that throughout your day whenever you need an energetic check-in. And I mention this because it is one of my missions as a space holder to talk about how energetic cleansing and grounding and check-ins can be way easier. Like, we don't have to sit in meditation for 3 hours, 60 minutes. Like, that's amazing. I highly recommend it because it's like no other experience to get into that devotional state of nothing and everything both at the same time. But when you're on the go, and let's be real, in this day of age, we're always on the go. You want simple tricks that you can just take out of your toolbox, like 222 as I'm saying this. So just know it's as simple as putting your hands over your heart, closing your eyes, taking 3 intentional breaths, and really seeping into your body this vibration of thought that with every intentional breath you take, you're alchemizing any dense energy in your body and in your field, because your internal state has this frequency dial that goes out into your environment. So yeah, just dropping in, man. To throw in the Cali lingo there. But anyways, to kind of bounce off that, I do want to talk about how our body, I have a little bit of notes here. Our body really is this light technology that houses our soul and helps us elevate higher, even down below, right? Because it's interesting because it's a non-linear scale, but I'm explaining it in a linear way. So this measurement of low to high frequency and anything in between is really to seep into this metaphor of you are a radio, and you broadcast a frequency based on where your self-love internal compass dial is at, and whatever frequency it's resonating at, it shoots out into your environment, and then your environment, like a magnet, creates the effect of your cause depending on the frequency that you're at. So you are a radio, and you are always in control of your frequency dial. It's not an external control, it's an inner control. And that's the secret to manifestation. Simply said. And I'm curious I don't even know if it's simply said, but to me that feels like boom, So I'm curious, hearing the vibration of what I'm saying now, how does it land in your nervous system? Chime in below. This is an open dialogue, always, 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 okay, my friends? So just know your voice matters. I love to hear what people have to say and what's on your heart. Of course, I want to preface that everything that I say in this video is truly from the heart space. These are just concepts that I bounce back in and out. Someone who really loves like esoteric wisdom and just the philosophy aspect of the human experience, which really is just our soul consciousness in another suit, another life, another timeline, another narrative. The soul never dies. But we do this again and again, going to earth school, until we don't, until we learned all the lessons. But again, it's all how you perceive reincarnation, right? That's a dialogue in itself. I'm bringing you kind of the parallax of what is true to me. Of course, I welcome everyone's different opinions, because we're not all going to think the same. This I feel into every day. And something that's coming up is like, so when I first began my seeking journey, I was living in Malibu. This was like after college. I just graduated and got my bachelor's degree in graphic design. And at the time I was living with my boyfriend and I was in a relationship that honestly, I truly loved him. He was like my best friend, and definitely one of those moments where you look people in the eyes and you just know you know them. And we've had incredible firsts together, so I'll always just appreciate that partnership at that time. Even though I was so young and ripe, I was like, shit, if I knew what I knew now. But like, that's the whole point, you're not gonna know it until you know it. And where was I going from this story? Shoots. Wow. I forgot. Oh, okay. I remember. So at that time when I was in that relationship, we were together for a while, I think like 5 years, but I knew in my body, but at the time I didn't know it was my body, that I wasn't truly happy and it was time for me to go on. But the thing is, once you start, getting close to someone and you create a structure in a life, you create a new norm, and you always have a choice whether to create deeper roots in that or go and explore when you feel, or just move forward when you feel really like, okay, this is out of alignment now. But a lot of us are conditioned to stay and not expand our comfort zones. But at the time, I decided to do that, but only because I was introduced to my Buddhism days, chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And that was like really when I was in seeking mode for something bigger than myself, because here I was, this young woman in this very serious relationship with an older man, and I felt like my whole life was already programmed for me, and that really scared me. So it took me down this rabbit hole of like, oh shit, no. But it was through chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, going to district meetings in Topanga. Shout out to any of my Topangan SGI members who are watching this, but those were the days, man. Those were the days where I really understood what faith meant to me. And it just felt so right. Like to take a few steps back, my dear friend at the time, Anna, she just got introduced to the practice, and we went on a hike in Topanga, and it was like this beautiful spiral, and we were walking in it, and when we got to the center, she shared with me that she's also coming from a background of being atheist, and she was sharing a little bit about that journey to her, but because chanting was more vibrational, and even though yes, there's an organization and it is encouraged to do faith, practice, and study, and not just like in the individual path, but as a collective. So there's a lot of just community aspect to the SGI. And for some that's much, like I've heard different perspectives. Like for some it triggers a little bit of like their religious wounds, I guess. So some really love that it's both, like a cool philosophy that you can really tap into and community, and some just do the philosophy and tap into the community really as a blue moon thing. it really is your experience and how you go about it. But of course, there's a big emphasis within the SGI community to be community based, because the evolution journey is heavy, and sometimes you just need someone to see you, to feel you, and cheer you on. So community is very primal and ancestral. It's heart opening. So anyways, I was introduced to the practice in Topanga, and I would go every Monday to the chanting and discussion meetings, and it was just like this steady rhythm for me that opened my mind and heart and soul, and even mission within, as a creative. I was like, what is my mission? Like, I just graduated college, and I was like, I still don't understand what I'm gonna do. Like, what? Like, how do I merge everything together? Where do I begin? Right? But life just kind of kicks you in the butt, and you begin without overthinking it. But just being able to chant allowed me to have the courage to speak my truth. And I ended up, breaking up with him and went to travel, and it was incredible, and I learned a lot about myself. And now looking back, I'm like, shit, I learned so much from that. And even what I wouldn't do, how to really use my vocal cords, because communication used to be something that really paralyzed me, but I've been working on it, to not assume that people can read your mind, but that you need to express what you feel, and to do it in a way that's artful, not egotistical, but a way of art where you can share your truth, but also welcome in reflection, recalibration, understanding. So I'm just gonna let that sink in. Those were my Buddhist days, and I bounced back in and out of chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, but it was definitely the first time that I really understood faith and just collective prayer. And now I want to segue, because I shared that for probably a reason. But I want to segue into something that chanting daily has given me. It allowed me to have a container in the morning and evening to be devotional, to practice something, to activate my voice, because when you're chanting, you are looking at the Gohonzon, which is this beautiful sacred mandala with Nam-myoho Renge Kyo down the line, and like the 10, what's it called? There's a word for it and I'm blanking. But I think it's like the 10 mystic laws or something like that. Shoot, I might be botching it, but we can circle back to it. But it's this gorgeous mandala, and it's meant to be just like an inspiration point. The moment you see the Gohonzon outside of yourself, you're out of alignment, because it's not about external object. It's about just having a focused dial for prayer and devotion, a sacred altar. And, we would work with fire, water, have fruit on the altar. So it was very abundant. You're really working with all the elements, and you're grounding into your like vagus nervous system. Did I say that right? But basically, when you're chanting, it's like awakening every vocal chakra within you, opening the channels, cleansing subtly without you doing anything, but being in resonance with your internal sound and how it resonates in the external container. So anyways, that needed to come through, so I'm just gonna trust that. I want to just ground us in a last minute little flow. Let's see what wants to come through. So just bringing up Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, it really taught me devotion and just coming to a sacred daily act every day to just choose my intention for the day. And essentially, that's meditation in general. So I guess this collective message, this daily message, is simply to encourage you to find a daily practice that is in tune with you. Maybe you combine a few practices and make your own. Maybe it's coming back to one that you like chanting for me, or yoga, or just doing a mindfulness guided meditation on one of the amazing apps, that so many people have created. Keep going on YouTube, Googling, just 10-minute meditation, or coming to my resources, which I have a few. If you check my link in bio on my Instagram at Maya Armani Art, you can find more info on that. Free activations made just for you. And yeah, so just daily rituals, they really help us activate a soul remembrance within us. So it's so potent, because just like how I shared at this young time in my life, Maya as a young woman, I said that's so funny, a young time in my life, but like flash back to her, right, in her early 20s, feeling ready to be out of a relationship, not really having the courage to say it. What does she do? She finds a daily ritual where she can ground into her inner courage every day, and it activates subtle yet profound energy within her to have the courage, 1616 as I said that, to have the courage to use her voice, to choose a different path, and to trust her internal light body technology within that's nudging her that something is out of alignment and it's time, to jump to the next. And of course there's so many just constructs around that of like, who are you to change the path? There's always going to be just eyes on that, right? People telling you to stay, but really it just creates internal conflict. And that's where like inner truth, taking that daily time to really listen to your own voice first and then adapt to the outer functions, is so potent and powerful. And the deeper we sit in stillness, the more we know ourselves. We are conscious co-creators. So yeah, I'll love and leave you here. That's kind of just like the channeled messages coming through. Just a reminder, always take what you need and recycle the rest. I love you so much. I'll see you in the next message. Please feel free to drop your favorite emoji this week that you're using, because I don't know about you, but I'm always changing my favorite ones. Even though I have like my solid core ones that you're just like, bam. Drop them down below if you made it this far in the video, and just know that the light in me sees and feels the light in you. Keep going, keep following your intuition, trusting your body, elevating the mind, and just remembering who you are on a soul level. Okay, go create. Love you.